There is an API key sitting in a text file on your laptop right now. You pasted it there following a 10-minute tutorial, and it works. You type one sentence, and an AI moves a deal down your pipeline, updates the record, drafts the follow-up. That key is what makes it fast. It is also what makes it dangerous, because the exact same connection can send a text message to your client's customer from your account, in your name, not a draft waiting for your approval. A sent message. I sell GoHighLevel. That's why my link is in the description below. And I think this is genuinely one of the better things they have shipped. I also think you were handed a much bigger key than anyone told you. So what you actually granted, the second server GoHighLevel recommends that almost nobody sets up, and the one setting that decides whether any of this belongs near a live client account. Quick context if you're new to this. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. It's a standard way to hand an AI assistant a set of tools it's allowed to use inside another piece of software. Before this, connecting an AI to your CRM meant Zapier or webhooks, or writing code against an API. With MCP, you paste a small block of configuration into Claude, and the AI can just do things. Read your contacts, search your conversations, update an opportunity, no middleware in between. That's genuinely a big deal. And the enthusiasm in those tutorials is earned. The part they skip is that do things is doing a lot of work in that sentence. So let's read the list. On the endpoint every tutorial uses, GoHighLevel exposes 35 tools across 9 groups, 8 for contacts, 7 for blogs, 5 for social posting, 4 for opportunities, 3 for conversations. Then calendars, locations, payments, and email templates, 2 each. Most of it is exactly what you'd hope for. Read a contact, search a pipeline, pull last month's transactions. But scroll to the conversations group, third tool down, send a new message. That is your AI sending a text or an email to your client's customer from your account in your name. Not a draft sitting in a folder waiting for you, a sent message. Every video I watched demonstrated that tool. Not one of them stopped to say what it means. Now the part that reframes all of it, that 35 tool server is GoHighLevel's original MCP endpoint. There's a second one, and GoHighLevel's own marketplace documentation calls it the recommended one, with the widest coverage. It doesn't give you 35 tools, it gives you 5: search, fetch, search operations, describe operation, and execute operation. And that sounds like less until you read the next line, which says, quote, behind these sits the full LeadConnector operation catalog. Hundreds of operations across 40 domains, 5 tools that can reach hundreds of operations, which means the honest answer to what can this AI do in my account stops being a list you can read in a minute. And there's one capability on that second endpoint the 35 tool list doesn't contain at all: delete. The original server can create, read, update, add, and remove tags. It cannot delete anything. The recommended one can. Now, to be fair to GoHighLevel, and this matters, their documentation says sensitive and irreversible operations are gated with additional confirmation and safety checks before they run. That's a real guardrail, and I'm not going to pretend it isn't there. But gated with additional confirmation is a very different safety model from the capability does not exist. One depends on somebody reading the confirmation. The other doesn't depend on anything. Then there's how you're logging in. Every tutorial has you generate what GoHighLevel calls a private integration token and paste it into a file. In plain terms, that's a password to your account that never expires, sitting in a text file, which you then hand to an AI. GoHighLevel's own help article warns you, quote, keep tokens private and never expose them in public repositories, screenshots, shared prompts, or client-side code. Read that middle part again. Screenshots, shared prompts. That help article also says, quote, OAuth support is planned for a future release, except it isn't planned. It's live right now on the recommended endpoint. One-click sign-in through a consent screen with broader scope coverage than the token gives you. GoHighLevel's 2 documentation pages disagree with each other, and the stale one is the one every tutorial links. So what do you actually do with that? The control isn't the endpoint, and it isn't the AI. It's scopes. When you create that token, you tick boxes for what it's allowed to touch, and those ticks decide which tools show up at all. The help doc says it in plain English, quote, use least privilege access. Enable only the scopes required for the AI workflow. That sentence is sitting right there in the documentation, and across roughly 10,000 words of tutorial narration I went through, the word security came up once. Concretely, 3 setups. If you want an assistant that answers questions about your pipeline and nothing more, tick view contacts, view opportunities, view conversations, and stop there. If you want it drafting your social posts, add social posting on top of those, and leave the conversation scopes switched off entirely. And turn on edit conversations only when you have decided, deliberately and in advance, that this thing is allowed to talk to your client's customers. So is it worth it? If you're technical and you point it at your own sub-account with view scopes, this is genuinely one of the more useful things GoHighLevel has shipped. Asking plain language questions about your own data and getting real answers back beats building a report. And the second endpoint, reaching the wider catalog, is the version worth learning, because the 35 tool one will feel small fast. Here's the counterweight. If you manage accounts for paying clients and you're setting this up because a 10-minute video made it look easy, slow down. Use OAuth instead of a pasted token. Start read only. Test on a sub-account nobody is paying you for. And know that the safety on irreversible operations is a confirmation prompt, which means it's only as good as the person reading it. The platform gave you a real key here. It's just a bigger key than the tutorials admit. If you're weighing GoHighLevel and how far you can build on it, the extended 30-day trial and my full setup notes are linked below.